Hey there, it is Shanel here from the Heart and Soul with your weekly Oracle card reading, a little dash of spiritual guidance for the week of February 22nd through the 28th, 2021. I was drawn to the Past Life Oracle card deck. This one's by Doreen Virtue and Brian Weiss, or Weiss. I honestly, this is not a deck that I really use. It is, Brian does past life regression and has some beautiful recordings out there that you can get a hold of for doing some meditations for past life regression. That's card number one. These cards are just card number two and not ones that I use all the time. So, that one is jumping. Is it? Yes. Card number three. So there's three cards. Let's see what they have to say, because these are kind of like when I pull the romance cards, I'm like, what are we in for? So card number one, Native American. So this is interesting. Ancestors came up previously, and this is referring back to that. Actually, they're showing me twofold. So this is about our ancestors and those that came before us. This is our roots. This is the things we've brought forward into this lifetime. But this is also this spiritual or reconnection to the land, to the Mother Earth, and the healing that comes from being connected to Mother Earth. Okay. Card number two. Spouse. This card feels like partnerships, and not just with other people, but our connection to ourselves. This is our marriage or our commitment, our vow to our spiritual journey. This is a commitment. So they're reminding us that we make vows in life, and sometimes and oftentimes we make them in duress, but they're referring to the promises that we've made to the universe to allow us to be able to move forward with something else. So sometimes these get in the way because we've made them in a time that is not ideal to be making vows to the universe. So they're acknowledging that this week. That is, again, an energetic thing that we've carried forward. And sometimes that can be from a past life that we're actually carrying it forward from as well. Last card here, trees. There we go. We've got back to our nature one more time here. Okay. This week feels like roots. It feels like grounding. It feels like connecting to the earth. There is a need to be very grounded to be able to step forward. So I often speak to this when I'm teaching intuition, is that place of needing to be both grounded as well as connected at the same time. If I wasn't grounded right now, I wouldn't be able to trust the information that I'm getting necessarily from the universe, because I'm too out there. I'm too airy or floaty and not connected enough to be able to channel that information in a really clear way for myself. Don't get me wrong, maybe there's people out there that can, but I am not one of those people. I need that grounding to make sure that the information is coming from this highest source and not just from anywhere out in the ethers. So that is really important. But they're also saying that we need to be really grounded in our decisions this week. They need to come from a place of information and from knowledge and research, wisdom. They're saying that decisions should be made over this next week or so to create the shift that has to happen before a more stagnant energy comes in. But also these decisions have to be made from a place of intuition, but also education. That we're not just making it on a whim, but there is some validity, some background to the decisions that you're making over this week. They're acknowledging things that might get in the way, our vows to the universe that we've made in past lives or this lifetime. Our relationships can get in the way of things. Sometimes we're holding on to a relationship, and that could be, friends, lover, career, job, hobby, whatever it is. We're holding on to relationships that no longer serve us, or that don't align with the purpose that we're headed towards. So how can you shift and change that this week? They're also acknowledging that the relationships we have with the outside world can influence our inside. So when we're paying attention to too many things that people are saying around us, that they're trying to drag us in different directions, that information is also going to get into the way. Please make sure that the information or the advice that you're getting is from someone that you trust completely and that there is no ulterior motive in it, or that their interest is just their best interest and not necessarily your best interest, which is also important. When I tap into things, I always ask for the information in a manner that is for the highest good of everyone involved, because that's important. What might be good for me might not be good for my partner and vice versa. But when we tap into it in a way that is good for everyone, for both of us, for our family, it changes that dynamic of the information and where it's coming from, so that it creates the best plan for us as a family. That being said, if what you're doing is very individual, please feel free to tap into it in the way that it is best for you, but often that will affect other people. So when we tap into a way that is best for everyone, we often are doing the best thing that will create a better outcome for everyone involved. Again, they're reminding us this shift, change, upheaval, that energy hasn't quite stopped yet. We're going to feel that through the end of this week. For some, it'll clear earlier in the week, others later in the week. And these decisions have to do with that. So being mindful of that energy. Don't fall into the fear factor. Don't overanalyze it. Don't get too logical. And stay out of your head. When you can stay in that place of presence and awareness, in being mindful, tapping into your intuition, you're going to get much clearer answers than when you start to spiral it in your head. What if, what could, what's next? I don't know. What about, if only? All of those questions and stuff take away the clarity because we're not staying in that present moment. So try to stay in the present and connect in to be able to get the answers that you're looking for. It's also about making the decisions to start manifesting the things that need to come next. Without the energy being put into that right now, you are going to find a standstill. So if you haven't done the work this week to create momentum forward, you will be at a standstill for a good 6 to 8 weeks. So it is really important to get that out there. Energy that you want to feel, things that you want to manifest. What are you trying to create? All those things, they need to happen over this next week. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be started into motion to be able to create what you would like to come towards. If that motion doesn't happen, again, there is going to be a standstill in the energy, and it will be a big standstill this time. It is important to have that energy that you want to create in motion already so it can keep going at that place instead of being at that standstill place of not making decisions. Feels like a big week for shifting and changing, so hold on to your hats a little bit. Make sure you take some time for self-care and lots of time for meditation and going inwards this week. Also, they're acknowledging that sleep is really important this week. Make sure that you're getting enough of it. If you are feeling stressed out before you go to bed, you're probably not going to sleep well. So please take the time to adjust. Do you need to journal? Do you need to meditate before you go to bed? What do you need to do to let go of that stress? Maybe you just need to look at your next day and create a to-do list and then believe in that to-do list that you have the time to get those things done. Sleep is super, super, super important in general, but even more important this week. So make sure you're getting a solid 8 hours each and every night. It is super important to your spiritual journey right now. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you for watching all the way through. Thank you for your support. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, all that good stuff. I would really appreciate it. It helps me on my journey. I've posted a few times now. If you really want to support small business, not me alone, but small business in general right now through your social media, make sure you're liking and commenting. If you are on Instagram, share it to your stories and save it. That's a big one right now. That really helps all those small businesses get seen in the algorithm. So help out all those small businesses. We appreciate it. When you purchase from a small business, we seriously do a happy dance. I promise you, each and every time. So grateful for all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I will see you this week on social media. Check out that card of the day every morning. Every Sunday we vote for the next card deck week. Yeah, from my heart and soul to yours. Have an amazing week.